Hey everyone, welcome back to 996. How Utah loses 3-2 in overtime against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Their first overtime loss in nearly 2 months, November 18th. So even though they lose, at least they grab an important point in the standings. Kerfoot is on injured reserve again week to week, and Vanacek starts in net for this game, even though it's not a back-to-back. You wonder, when is Vejmelka going to get rest, so they decide to rest Vejmelka against the worst team in the Eastern Conference. But to be honest, is there even a bad team in this league this season? Just every team bunched up together, and there's no nights off in the NHL. I think Columbus was on a back-to-back. They lost against the Avalanche Saturday night, so this seemed like it was served up to Utah to grab 2 points. But 3 minutes into the game, Columbus makes it 1-0. A Columbus player streaks in a little bit too much space. You can pick your shot, and when you give an NHLer space to pick a shot, it usually goes in the net. You also would like a save there. I think maybe if it was Vejmelka, you'd probably get a save, but not good feelings early on in this game. Utah outshot 8-0 in the first 9 minutes of the game, but thankfully Utah does get a power play around the 10-minute mark, and even though it's a bit sloppy, it takes 1 minute to set up, they finally get their first shot on goal with 1 second left in the power play. But it started to generate the momentum and pressure for Utah. From this power play until the end of the game, I thought Utah really played well in terms of pressure, possession, and attacking, whereas the first 10 minutes of the game, it seemed like Utah was not ready. They were overskating pucks. They didn't have urgency. They weren't playing fast. They weren't playing in the O-zone. The broadcast mentioned it. It felt like that Islanders game where Utah was asleep for the first 14 minutes of the game, and then they end up winning that game 7-2. So I had similarities to that game. And after the power play, the failed power play, they generated and stacked shift after shift with pressure, and they finally scored. It's McBain from Keller and DeSimone. Keller skates around the perimeter of the O-zone, and once he's at the blue line, high in the offensive zone, he just lets a shot go, just a casual wrister, and it hits McBain's back or the back of his neck, and it bounces into net. It's 1-1. A rare sort of line there with Keller, McBain, and Boot, and it didn't seem like it was in the middle of a change. They were out there together for probably a minute. So just maybe someone wasn't ready on the first line, or they decided to give Keller some extra ice time, but it works out well being put on that third line for that brief moment. Utah was controlling the play, controlling the pace the last 5 minutes of the first period. So we go into the second period tied 1-1. Utah was outshot 11-7 in the first period, and Columbus, they get a lot of quantity in terms of their shots. They're a high volume shot, even though not a lot of them are high quality. They do just want to get everything to the net. But my notes after that first period, just continue what you were building in the last 10 minutes of the first. They took a while to get ready and to get started, but thankfully it's tied. It's a tied game. So we go into the second period, and 1 minute in, Utah gets the lead to make it 2-1. It's a Sergachev point shot wrister that has eyes, and it actually hits a Columbus player's leg and bounces into the net. So that's 2 goals, very similar goals, where it's a shot from the high offensive zone near the blue line, and it hits a couple bodies, and it goes in the net. Assists go to Keller and Schmaltz. Then there's a nice chance by Peterka. He's alone in the slot, but he gets denied. Utah had the momentum to start the second period, and for me, they really needed to increase this lead from 2-1 to at least 3 or 4-1, just like they did against the Islanders, because it seemed like Columbus wasn't going away, and that rang true for the rest of the game. They really couldn't put Columbus away, and you got to score goals to put teams away. Just Columbus kept hanging in there all game, and they're pretty much a nuisance of a team, just not going away. But that's credit to Columbus and a discredit to Utah, just not kicking them when the team is down. There was a Vanacek blocker save from a dangerous slot chance, a great save. He sort of guesses on that one. Not a lot of form on that save by Vanacek, but at least he did get the save. And I wrote down for Utah, just don't give Columbus anything easy. They didn't go on the PK yet around the halfway point of the game, so I said stay disciplined. And man, sometimes I just foreshadow when I write down these notes. So there's a 2-on-1 for Columbus, but a sprawling Nate Schmidt breaks up that 2-on-1, and Columbus, like I said, just pushing, putting on the pressure for Utah. Just like I said, not going away in this game. A pretty evenly matched game, whether you like it or not. And to be honest, kind of don't like it. Like I said, Columbus on a back-to-back, playing against the Avalanche. They're down in the standings in the other conference. This is probably a game you should and needed to get those 2 points. And then the penalty troubles start for the Utah Mammoth late in the second period. They commit a penalty and Columbus capitalizes and ties the game 2-2. It was a shot from the side of Vanecek. It hits the post and then it bounces in front of Vanecek in the crease. There's chaos and they managed to poke it through and get that tying goal to make it 2-2. They outshot Utah 14-8. So again, a big shot gap between the teams in this game. So we go into the third period, and again, 30 seconds into it, Utah commits a penalty. Thankfully, there's a shorthanded 2-on-1 with Krause and Stenlin. Krause decides to shoot. It's a great shot and a great save by the goaltender. But yeah, unfortunately, he's denied on that. And right when the penalty kill is about to finish, the Columbus Blue Jackets commit a penalty. So Utah gets a power play early in the second as well, but in the third, but they don't score on it. The PP 0 for 2 on the game. And again, 1 power play goal, and it's an extra point in the standings. Just the power play continues to be flaccid and to be very frustrating and annoying to watch. After that failed power play, there's a Columbus post that nearly goes in. Instead of going bar down, it goes bar up and into the stands. I'm worried about a soft goal. We're more than halfway through the season. I'm still uncomfortable with Vanecek. Sometimes he makes amazing saves, desperation saves, and it's just a shot that manages to find its way through. So I'm clenching in this third period, and Utah struggling to establish consistent pressure, unlike what they found in the second period. I thought early in the second, late in the first, Utah was getting consistent pressure. But in the third, it was like a seesaw battle between these two teams, just exchanging momentum. There's a Krause chance denied in tight. It was a great passing play between Schmaltz, Keller, and Krause finishes it off, but he gets denied. And then Columbus, late in the third, they have the edge in pressure. They're actually starting to outplay Utah. Late in the third, Turney decides to do some minor line blending. He swaps Gunther with Carcone. So Gunther goes on the third line with McBain and Boot, and Carcone is up on the second line with Hayden and Peterka. Gunther's having a rough couple games here. He was amazing. Since the Cooley injury, he really led the team. He was scoring consistently, attacking consistently, putting up points. He was producing consistently. The most he has in pretty much his whole career. It was a great 12-game stretch. And it was capped off by a wonderful, amazing game against the Rangers where he was the fastest he's ever been. But since they got home, man, he's had little impact on the game offensively. So really need Gunther to step it up. We could have used his impact in this game for sure. And then, 5 minutes left in the third, I hear a new chant by the Utah Mammoth crowd where they chant Utah Mammoth. They literally chant the name of the team. It's way better than whistling and very unique. Haven't heard that in hockey, and pretty much since I heard that chant, I've been wondering what other teams can do that. What other teams have that, 4-syllable chant. It just works. It's a good chant, not the best chant. Still, that goes to Utah chant. I love that chant. So it's good on the crowd, just still trying to find new things. And it's pretty interesting how they try new things, and it seems really loud. It seems like everyone's on the same page. So that's great atmosphere for those home games. And then the unfortunate turning point happens. 25 seconds left in the game. There is an unfortunate penalty called on Utah. It's Daniel Boot in the neutral zone, just collides with a player. Boot's a big guy. He has a lot of force and momentum. when he skates and the Columbus player goes flying. It's sort of leg on leg, so it looked bad, and the refs call it. You can't really blame them. I don't like the timing of the call. It's a collision. It wasn't malicious or purposeful, but it did look bad, and I'm sure the ref is just reacting to how the Columbus player fell after the collision. So thankfully they kill off the 24 seconds in the penalty kill for the last 24 seconds of the game, because it means they do get a point in the standing. So they go into overtime, and in the overtime, still on that penalty kill, it's a 4-on-3, not a 3-on-2 in overtime, and Columbus scores to win the game. They outshot Utah 36-27. So for Utah, they're one of the top teams in the league in shot suppression, but for Columbus, a high volume team, it seemed like whenever they got the puck in the O-zone, they were just playing it on net, just directing the puck to the net. It seemed like Columbus doesn't even know how to pass, or they're coached not to pass. It's like you make one pass and then the puck is directed to the net. Power play 0 for 2. Like I said, you need a power play goal here. If you do, that's an extra point in the standings. PK 1 for 3. The PK showing a lot of cracks in its armor the past 5 games. And without a good power play, it's not a great recipe for success. And faceoffs 52%. For this game, I know the team feels bad. The players know they have to be better. They're going to learn from it. They're going to adapt. They're going to play a much better game against the Leafs. And then they got Dallas Thursday. And then a pivotal playoff matchup Saturday night against Seattle. Utah is tied for both wildcard spots with Seattle and LA. Or is it LA and San Jose? But it's San Jose, LA, Seattle, and Utah just competing for that last wild card spot. For me, I didn't see anything alarming. The only thing I'm really uncomfortable with is Dylan Guenther's disappearance. I feel like if Vejmelka was in it, we probably would have won that game, but we need to give Vejmelka some rest. We can't play him every game. And this was a game on a schedule that you pencil in as winnable. So definitely you play your backup, and would have liked a win for Vanecek to give him some confidence, because I'm sure we'll need him down the stretch. But just they need to continue. They need to truck on. They're 2-0-1 to start the homestand, which is good. It's great, and hopefully this doesn't bum them out. It doesn't get them down in the dumps where they go on a losing streak. They need to just pick themselves back up, be thankful they got the point, and get back in the win column as soon as Tuesday night against the Maple Leafs. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.